Hey there, AfterBuzz TV fans. I am here with the fabulous Jen Brown. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm so good. It's RTX.
How are you enjoying it so far?
Wonderfully. We just finished our Project Improviser panel, which is my favorite panel that we do every year because it's just way too much fun. And it was way too much fun this year. There was more people than ever. I think it was the most people we've had at the panel. It was packed. I mean, it wasn't full, but there was a lot of people there. That was...
Highlight from the panel this year.
Highlight from the improviser panel?
Yeah.
Barrett and Lee Eddy having to be a couple who went for their honeymoon to Pizza Hut, and it was just a murder Pizza Hut where everyone was dying, and it was the funniest fucking shit. It was great. It was great.
So just for anybody who comes to RTX and thinks the improviser panel, you don't have time for it, make time for it next year. You're going to miss out on a lot of stuff. So there have been a lot of fun, amazing Rooster Teeth shows to talk about this year. I almost don't know where to start. Of course, we do have to talk about RWBY a little bit and Pura's appearance this season.
Breaking everybody's damn hearts. Making everyone cry, including myself.
I know. It's like Miles and Carrie just kind of wanted to kick everybody's hearts, like, right. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But one of the great things about that scene is we get to see what an impact it has on Jean and on RWBY as well, and how losing a friend has really affected them. Are you excited to see that aspect of their development explored in the future?
I am. I'm really excited about that. I love that they're tapping into that because it's important. You can't just pretend like I died and no one cared. Like, everyone cared. that affected people. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I've said this before. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing some sort of funeral.
Yes, let's hope so. And some sort of, it's always nice seeing a show where actions have consequences, and obviously there are a lot of consequences to losing Pura. But I also want to talk about some fun things that both you and I were really, really excited about in terms of Volume 4, and that's the Nuclavy. Because anytime Rooster Teeth decides to go full horror movie, I think we both lose our minds a little bit.
Absolutely. Like, every time I'm just like, oh good, something for me. I mean, I love it, but like, you know this. A lot of people that are fans of me know this. Horror is my life. It's my favorite thing in the whole wide world ever. So when it creeps into projects I work on, it always pleases me to no end.
I do too, especially for fantasy adventures. Whenever it's like watching an old Spielberg movie where it's just like, we're going to terrify the kids too. Yeah. So I was really excited to see the Nuclavy. But also Red versus Blue decided to go a little bit horror movie this season too. And that also was a delight.
Yeah, that was great. I got that script and was just like reading it. I told you this already. I was like reading it. And then I finished reading the murder fridge scene. And I just was like, Joe, like in my heart, I was just like, did Joe do this for me? Is this just for me? I'm so excited. 'Cause yeah, that's horror 101. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. It's like, was this for my birthday? Yeah. Was this a gift? But one of the things I kind of wonder about was, like, the second Carolina gets out of there, is she going to go full horror movie on Temple and just be the relentless, never stopping murderer with the machete heading straight for him?
I'm not sure. Actually, that's a lie. I do know what happens, but I'm not going to tell you.
No spoilers here. I'm just going to go with my theory that she goes full Jason or Michael Myers on him, and that's how the season ends.
That's hilarious.
So speaking of horror movies, we've talked about it in the past. I'm a huge fan of your guys' podcast called Women in Caskets that talks about horror movies from a feminist perspective. Just out of curiosity, what's been your favorite horror movie to come out so far this year?
Ooh. Okay, well that's hard because there are movies that have come out this year, but I saw them last year because I saw them at festivals, and then there are movies that came out this year that I saw this year. Okay. So it's hard. It's hard because
you got a jump start on everybody.
I did. But well, I guess Love Witch was technically last year. I guess Raw was technically last year. There's so many. I guess I'll go with Raw for now.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, what was your favorite what was your favorite song to come out last year? There's so many great options.
Right. I'll do a few episodes. We'll go The Love Witch. Raw. Ooh, you know what? This isn't quite a horror movie, but it's got horrific elements, and the amazing Lee Eddy is in it, and her brilliant husband directed it. I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore is on Netflix, and it is fucking amazing. It is a brilliant film, and it's got a lot of great horror elements in it, even though it's more of like a thriller.
There's some overlap every now and then. Yeah.
There's some overlap. That movie is so good, and I'm just like, I feel so lucky to know them. I'm like, oh, I know those people. They made that brilliant movie. I know them. I've been to their house.
Well, if you guys want to know more about that, check out Mark's interview with Lee Eddy, and they have a fun chat about that. But yeah, it's always really great getting to see the different perspectives on the genre when things happen. And one of the things that Rooster Teeth did last year and that they're continuing to do this year, Day 5, which isn't necessarily horror, so to speak, but it's psychological. It's got horrific elements. How did it feel being a part of that? Because the last time we spoke, your episodes hadn't come out yet.
Yeah, now they're out. And now you know I'm dead again.
Now they're out, and they were heartbreaking, and it was just, generally speaking, really upsetting. Yeah. No joke. I broke me when they gave up towards the end there.
I know, it's so sad, but you know what? I loved that because it was different. Like it was just them. I don't know. It was them kind of accepting their fate and just being like, you know what? No, I'm doing this on my terms. Like, I'm stuck in this situation, but I'm deciding that I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done with this.
And even though it's heartbreaking, you completely understand. So like it's hard, and that's what one of the things that makes it so hard to watch is because we've all been to that point where it's like, I just want to sleep. And yeah, so it was devastating, but it was really great. Are you excited to see what direction they go in for season 2?
I'm really excited about season 2. I've seen the first episode. It's really good.
Fantastic.
Adrienne Mischler's joined the cast, and I know her from the Austin Theater and Voiceover World. We've worked on projects together, and I adore her dearly, so it's really nice to see her join the crew, even though I'm not there to play along with her. I'm really happy that she's on the show, and they've added a lot of really great new people, and I'm still close as heck with everyone that I worked with on season 1, so.
Yeah, and we were talking to a few of the new cast members on the red carpet the other night, and there was a lot of discussion about how great that series approach to female characters is. And as somebody who regularly analyzes media and the feminist perspective on media, and especially the horror genre, that also must have been very gratifying, getting to work on a project where they treat female characters like people as opposed to objects or tropes.
Yeah, no, agreed. I feel like the female characters are really strongly written in Day 5. Yeah, I was very glad when I saw the scripts, and I was like, oh, these are more than just stereotypical characters, and they've got stuff going on.
Yeah. And speaking of a Rooster Teeth and straight up horror, they have another movie coming out called Bloodfest that they announced earlier today. Why didn't we get the memo on that like way earlier?
I know. I was like, I heard rumors. So I had heard rumors that it was happening, and I know Owen. So I was like, okay, I knew that it was rumors about it, but no one had told me. This is other people being like, hey, you're going to want to know about this. And then me going, they're doing what?
Well, given that obviously you are the horror movie expert out of all of Rooster Teeth, what would you like to see from a Rooster Teeth produced horror movie?
Something that's schlocky and silly, but not so much that they forget the horror. So something
straight up horror comedy.
Yeah, a good horror comedy. A good horror comedy.
If anyone could come close to doing what Evil Dead does, I feel like Rooster Teeth could do it.
Right. And I will say, without giving away anything, I have been told what the premise is. And it sounds fucking awesome.
I cannot wait. That sounds amazing. So kind of to get back to your projects, you, in addition to working on Women in Caskets, which has come a long way in the past year.
By the way, which is so exciting, we just got it added to Bloody Disgusting Podcast Network. Dawn and I are real excited about that.
Congratulations. That's incredible.
Super fun.
That definitive word in horror. That's so great. That's wonderful. But in addition to that, you also have Brown Recluse Films, where you get to that point where you're like, I've talked about horror movies for so long, I'm going to make my own. So what was kind of the idea behind that?
I have been having ideas for films forever. And I wrote a script 2 years ago along with 2 other gentlemen. And we wrote the movie. We love it. And I was like, having trouble getting it made, still having trouble getting it made, but that's movies. It takes a while, especially when you write something as fucked up as I did. I wrote a very hard to make movie. But that made me go, you know what? Why don't we start this Patreon? Let people know that this is a thing and a goal that I'm working towards. And there's more than just the Marvin feature film that I'm trying to get made. There's a short, there's an animated web series I want to create.
Vinyl and is it Savage World?
Yes. Savage World is an animated series. I'm going to start working on the scripts this summer. We're going to try to get the first 5 scripts written, just so we have it written, and then just, see what we can do. Maybe do like a little animat or something, But that's an idea that's based on my time. When I was in high school, I worked at Alice Cooper's Brutal Planet Haunted House for 2 years. So the animated series is going to be about a haunted house that's run year-long by a super crazy ex-glam rock star named Rick Savage.
That sounds amazing.
And this is really early. This is just a developmental phase at this point. But if you donate to my Patreon and help, you're helping give money to me so I can not have to do my day job, so I can focus on writing the show and trying to get this a reality.
Well, and speaking of other ways of supporting, you also have a Twitch channel, which comes as no surprise, given that your co-host for Women in Caskets is a big video game fan. So what can people expect from your Twitch channel in the coming weeks, months, however long?
Me being incredibly terrible at every video game that crosses my path, because I am real bad at them. We started it because Barrett, my boyfriend, who was on Red vs. Blue season 14 last year, he was the one that was he's a huge gamer, so he games constantly. He loves it, and I do too. But I mostly play like Telltale, Nintendo, that kind of. That's my speed. That's where I'm at. So he wanted to start this because he thinks I'm eventually going to get better at first-person shooters. I don't think that's true, but he believes in me, and I really appreciate that.
They're not my jam either.
Yeah, I'm really bad at them. So he thought it would be really funny if, fans watched me suffer through Halo and BioShock and Goat Simulator. That was fun. Did that this Wednesday. Did that on the most recent one. We have the streams up on Twitch. It's Jen Brown Plays. So Twitch/Jen Brown Plays. And then we just started a YouTube channel too. So he's been putting up edited videos of highlight reels of my playthroughs. The Halo 3 one is up on our YouTube channel right now, and it's pretty funny.
Well, last year when we spoke, I asked you what you wanted to see from Women in Caskets in the future, and you mentioned a few ideas that you guys had buzzing around for future growth. And I feel like you guys have done a phenomenal job reaching a lot of those goals. So I'm going to ask again, now that it's 1 year later, how do you feel about how far you've come, and where do you want to go in the future?
Oh, that's so nice of you. We're really proud of the podcast. We're really proud of it. Dawn and I love what we've created, and we love the fans and the community who's reached out and told us that we love what you're doing. That's awesome. So that's great. Love it, obviously. And 2, just more listeners would be nice. Now that we're with Bloody Disgusting, we're kind of hoping that we'll get to expand our base and more people will know who we are, and we can start doing more conventions and going to other festivals other than Fantastic Fest and bringing more content. We've been getting to add more interviews, and that's been nice. We interviewed Ethan Embry earlier this year. Oh, you haven't listened to our Devil's Candy Ethan Embry episode?
There are a couple where I skip because I haven't seen the movie yet.
Watch Devil's Candy and then go listen to our Ethan Embry episode, because he tells some incredible stories about that. And we also go off on tangents about atheism and Satanism and drug abuse and mental illness, and it's the best.
So it sounds like a boring episode, right? Like absolutely nothing happened in that one.
So boring. So boring.
Well, Jen, I think we're just about out of time, but again, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say to the people who have attended RTX, all of the Rooster Teeth fans, and all of course, the horror movie fans out there?
Of course. Just thank you for being awesome. Like, y'all are just amazing and sweet and lovely. Like, I have so few bad experiences. Like, I can't even think of a bad experience I have had with any of y'all. Y'all are just salt of the fucking earth. Like, the best.
Well, again, cannot say thank you enough. Thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to seeing what projects you have here at Rooster Teeth and also with Brown Recluse Films in the future. And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you all next time.